another possible trophy for Spurs, more transfer links, and a possible Son conundrum for new manager Thomas Frank when he's appointed. All this in your daily Tottenham news headlines. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Let's get into it. Fabrizio Romano has stated that Spurs target Leroy Sané will become a Galatasaray player on contract until June 2028, as revealed this morning. Deal agreed between parties, players camp in Istanbul to complete all steps. Football.London state that one of Thomas Frank's first tasks after he walks through the doors at Tottenham will be to discuss Son Heung-min's future at the club. As Football.London understands, the skipper is more open to leaving Spurs than he ever has been before. The South Korean has admitted in interviews ahead of the final in Bilbao that the reason he had stayed at Spurs in the past was because he was driven to finally bring a trophy to the club. Possible moves have been touted to the Saudi Pro League and the MLS for Son, who will be 33 by the time the coming season begins. If there is not to be a new short-term deal, then they will lose him for nothing in 2026, a fear that drove the sale of Kane 2 years ago. Fabrizio Romano has also stated regarding Spurs target Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo is appreciated by Tottenham, yes, but at the moment it's still early for negotiation and Bournemouth will try to keep him. TalkSport report, however, that Spurs are the latest club to hold talks with the Antoine Semenyo camp, but it's likely to take a club record fee to prize him away from Bournemouth, who are under no financial pressure to sell. A report in The Sun states that Tottenham Hotspur have qualified for the UEFA CONMEBOL Club Challenge by winning the Europa League, but due to a hectic schedule, the North Londoners may not have time to play it. The revamped competition was launched 2 years ago as a follow-up to the previous Supercopa Euro-Americana. It sees the Europa League winners go up against the champions of its South American counterpart, the Copa Sudamericana. Sevilla won the competition in 2023, but the game did not take place last year as Atalanta and Ecuador side Liga de Quito could not arrange a date. This year's Copa Sudamericana winners were Argentine side Racing Club. Their club president is former Inter Milan star Diego Milito, who reportedly wants to set up a date with Spurs. UEFA chiefs feel that it will be difficult to find a slot in which to fit the game. BBC Sport state that Tottenham are closing in on appointing Brentford manager Thomas Frank as their new head coach by the weekend. Talks between the clubs are ongoing but have progressed positively. Frank could even be confirmed in the next 48 hours as Ange Postecoglou's successor. Discussions are understood to be amicable and there is a will from all parties to conclude the agreement quickly. And finally, some international news on players playing internationally. Mickey van der Ven scored his first senior international goal as the Netherlands beat Malta 8-0 in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying on Tuesday evening. The defender started at left back in the Group G encounter at FC Groningen's Euroborg Stadium, and after setting up the seventh goal for Doniel Malen, struck himself in the second minute of added time. Richarlison came off the bench in the second half as Brazil secured a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup with a 1-0 win against Paraguay in the early hours of Wednesday. Richie returned to international action for the first time since October 23 against Ecuador last week, entered the fray on 78 minutes in Sao Paulo. Brazil secure a place in the top 6 of the CONMEBOL qualifying and therefore book their place in the finals next summer. Brazil extend their record as the only team to play in every edition of the World Cup, with the 5 times winners set to make their 23rd appearance in next year's tournament in the United States, Canada and Mexico. Cuti Romero completed another full shift for Argentina in a 1-1 draw against Colombia in Buenos Aires. The holders secured their place at the finals a long time ago. They are 10 points clear of Ecuador and Brazil at the top of the table. And finally, Rodrigo Bentancur picked up an assist in Uruguay's 2-0 win against Venezuela, meaning Uruguay are 1 point away from joining Argentina and Brazil in the finals, with 2 qualifying games remaining against Peru and Chile in September. Okay, so here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, about Sané going to Galatasaray. There was never any firm links with Sané. Obviously, we was interested in him. Players obviously going to Galatasaray and be playing in the Turkish League next season now by the looks of it. A shame because he was Premier League proven. You kind of knew what you was getting with Sané. His numbers were reasonable. I still had doubts about how much we were going to pay him. Obviously, those discussions didn't even get to that stage, but I would have worried if he'd become the club's record earner at the age he was. But a lot of players have gone to the Turkish League and done well, so fair enough, that's one we've lost out on. Football.London stating that Thomas Frank's one of his first tasks is the Son Heung-min conundrum. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Look, we can all see that Son's powers are waning a little bit. And probably a lot of us, me included, base our thoughts and decisions and what we think about Son on memories and emotion. I would love to see Sonny stay at the club, but I can also see if a huge offer comes in for Son and Son wants to go, I would say just go and enjoy the rest of your career. It would be a lower level, but I'm sure he'd do very, very well, whether that be the MLS or Saudi. Legend of the club, undoubtedly. And it would kind of be quite fitting for me to see the last action that Son saw was in a final where he lifted the trophy, and that was his parting gift to Tottenham. Amazing servant over the years. Whatever happens with Son, I wish him well. Obviously, the emotional part of me would like him to stay, but he will understand. And obviously, the club you would think have had discussions with him internally about what he wants to do. So whatever happens with Son, I wish him well. If he stays, great. If he doesn't, he goes with our best wishes. Fabrizio Romano talking about Antoine Semenyo. Look, Semenyo, they're talking about a 50 million fee for Antoine Semenyo. It seems high to me. Market value 35 to 45 million euros. If you look around, that's roughly what his value would be. Could be a good signing if we negotiated a lower fee. That's what I would say for that. His 24, 25 stats are pretty solid. 11 goals, 5 assists in 37 matches in the Premier League. 126 shots, 53% dribble success. 25 years old, he's versatile. We can play on both wings and as a striker. Issues for me, to be honest, are his consistency. Adapting to the pressure and past hamstring injuries have blighted him a bit. All right, Bournemouth did have a bit of that this season, obviously with the way they play. He was durable this season, though. He did well. Played a lot of games, as you can see by the numbers there. It's a premium price for a player. He would obviously justify it if he sustained his form. So we'll see how that one goes. I wouldn't be against it. I think there's definitely a good player in there. The Sun stating about this CONMEBOL Club Challenge Cup. I think it'd be great if we took part in this. It's a chance of another trophy. So, we've gone long enough without a trophy. So, yeah, the more the merrier. When they fit this game in, though, it's obviously South American side we'd be playing against, and where would that game be? Where would they fit it in? Obviously, we're going away for our pre-season again. So, where do they schedule that game? It's going to be a difficult one, but I'm all for it. Another trophy, that'd be great. I wonder if they'd have a parade. BBC Sports state that Tottenham are closing in on appointing Thomas Frank, as we all know. All the information's out there on the channel about that, and we will let you know as soon as that news breaks, but it seems like it's fairly imminent now. Just want to get him in as soon as possible so he can start work. And finally, great to see our players doing well on international level, especially Mickey van de Ven scoring his first goal for the Netherlands. 8-0 they beat Malta. I'm sure Melvin's not going to be happy about that one. And setting up a goal as well. Richarlison, good to see him back in the Brazil squad, coming off the bench. Brazil obviously qualifying for the World Cup. It's incredible, you know. 23 appearances is going to be next year in the States, Canada and Mexico. Qualified for every single World Cup since its inception. That's some going. But the World Cup wouldn't be the World Cup without Brazil, would it? Cuti Romero, obviously Argentina already qualified. They're going to take some beating next year in the World Cup, whoever comes up against them. Tough opponents. Are we going to see Lionel Messi again? That'll be interesting at a World Cup. I'm sure we will. And Rodrigo Bentancur just 1 point away from joining them in those finals. It'd be great to see Rodrigo Bentancur in those finals playing as well. Anyway, that's it from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know your thoughts right now as a Spurs fan. And let me know about any of those stories that I've spoken about today. Let me know your feelings. Come on, you Spurs.